I did get my tooth put back in, so that's a good news for me at least. I'm back in business. But it's been a hectic day, so I've been a little bit more removed from a lot of the stuff today. And I've actually sometimes, these work out great. Occasionally I'll wake up and play the early slate when I'm not going to I wasn't thinking about it. And I just sort of go off the cuff and play like a lineup or two. I did do some research while I was in the doctor's office because I was in there for a while. My phone ended up dying and then I had to get them a chart. It just was a whole long thing. But what are we doing today, Rody? What are we doing? What are we looking at? And tell me sort of your overall thoughts on the slate. And then we'll, instead of going game by game, I think we'll just talk through the slate for about a half hour and, answer some questions and all that. What's up, WW Fresh?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely too much to go game by game for sure. There's 14 games. It's a big slate. I definitely rather hitting the highlights. Sheets had a really good video earlier today, guys. He just hit the main points, some of his top stacks. Real good video. Didn't go game by game. There's a lot of games, but you want to get to the main points tonight. So we'll get in on that.
Okay, let's do it. So let's talk about pitchers. What are you doing? And I understand we have – go ahead.
No, you can keep going. You're the guy. Keep going, man. You got it.
So, look, we both had interest in Rodriguez.
Yeah.
This is what happens when I just scramble in right before showtime. Just tell me what you're doing and I'll sort of go from there because I'm sort of all over the place. I've got a lot of interest. I love Giolito and Wheeler the best. I'm not sure what else I'm doing yet.
Giolito's popping a little bit. I mean, he's got a good strikeout prop. I like Rodriguez because he's got a 7 strikeout prop. And then a couple lower owned guys for you guys for the tournaments. I like Montas too with a 6.5 strikeout prop. The top guy's Wheeler for me, I think still. But I got to build where I compare Wheeler and Rodriguez, and I kind of like that. So a higher owned pitcher with a lower owned pitcher. It's a big slate, so it's going to be a little bit spread out. My biggest question is, what are you doing with David Price? Because he's popped up in the projections here, looking like some ownership at 17%, 6.3K, 5.5 strikeout prop. I don't know. Are you seeing that same thing?
Yeah, I don't understand why. So it would be the first time all year that he would have pitched more than 4 innings if he does pitch. I'm not touching it, to be honest with you. I'm just not going to do it. I understand that it's a bad team in Colorado, especially away from Colorado, worst offense in baseball. But I'm not going to get behind it. There's too many good options on this slate, and he hasn't. I don't think that ceiling's really there. I'm shocked at the K prop. I'll take the under on it. That does make you think that they're going to extend him, which they may. But I personally I don't see the need to go that low personally. And if I was, I would absolutely be all over Patrick Corbin, not him, not David Price. Corbin at least has we know historically legitimately great strikeout stuff, but he hasn't been the same this year. I do think against Baltimore, who's going to be a bunch of righties that aren't going to strike out as much. But if I was going to go low, that would be where I'd be going.
Gotcha.
So let's see. Giolito, Wheeler, Montas, Rodriguez are basically my only 4 at this moment.
We should probably talk about Musgrove. I mean, he's coming in chalk. He's a good cash. He's probably the top cash guy paired with Wheeler. I would say if you're playing cash. He's coming in 8.4K, 5.5 strikeout prop, but he's probably the highest pitcher owned today.
He's got to be. I forgot to mention. I personally will try and avoid some of that chalk, but I do think it makes some sense. I mean, look, dude, it's Musgrove against Miami. It makes a lot of sense, obviously, in Miami. I have no problem with it. I find myself more drawn to the upside of Wheeler. I'm not playing Garrett Cole, which is making me a little bit not nervous, but he's always a guy who I tend to try and get in. I just haven't trusted it since we got rid of the Sicky stuff, even though he's actually been pretty good. I'm stuck on Giolito today, especially going to the National League Park. I love when you get the American League pitcher going to the National League Park. Anyway, I've got a bunch of things popping up in chat. What about for so I guess if we had to rank the pitchers, guys, I'm totally scrambling. This is not like me at all. I scramble, but not usually like where I'm this far out of it. So how would you rank them? I think I have Wheeler, Giolito. I'm sorry, I think I have Giolito, then Wheeler, then I sort of have the other guys all the same. Montas,
a lot of those guys are the same. You're way higher on Giolito than me.
Yeah.
But I have heard good things about him. 7.5K strikeouts today, probably. So I mean, he looks like a good play today, guys. A really good play. A little bit lower ownership too, single digits now. He dropped about 10% from earlier.
There's no way that's going to happen, in my opinion.
You think it's gonna be higher?
Mm-hmm. I don't think it'll be like crazy high, but I think I just can't buy that no one's going to play him. I understand there's enough other options.
There's a lot of pitchers. Yeah.
But he is. I mean, maybe the argument against him for today is that he just threw a complete game against what's it called, the Astros. When Giolito's on, he's got the best stuff of everybody here, in my opinion. I'm sorry, the best opportunity going against Milwaukee in the National League Park. I think he's got the highest strikeout upside. But I do worry a little bit about him. I'm trying to find out how many pitches he threw in that last start and exactly how long ago it was. Do you have that pulled up by any chance? Because that's probably what that's the only thing I really could see being a concern with him.
How many pitches he threw last game?
Yeah. For some reason, my DraftKings is just acting crazy.
Why is it not showing me either?
I literally can't even enter lineups. I can't do anything. I can't edit. Very frustrating.
Yeah, all right. I don't have it either. Why? Hang on. I just had the game canceled out. Is why I need to find them.
All right. Now, DraftKings is totally freezing on me. So he threw in that game. He threw 107. That's actually pretty much it's pretty much a standard. I mean, I expect him to throw up to 110 every time. I really like this spot. I think I'm going to end up with more Giolito. Than anything else. I do like Montas quite a bit, but I think Wheeler would be my number 2, followed by Rodriguez and Musgrove. Musgrove largely due to ownership. I think he makes a lot of sense. I just think he's going to be really popular.
Yeah.
All right. Seeing if there's anything. What's up to everybody in chat? Thanks, John, for filling that in. I didn't notice it first. It's 90 and humid here in Milwaukee. The roof will be open. The ball will be flying. It doesn't worry me if he's striking everybody out. It's not like I don't care about that at all. You take that's not worrying me at all for Giolito. I don't look at Giolito as a guy who I worry about getting roughed up all the time. He pitches in the American League. He faces a lot tougher teams than this Milwaukee team. He just threw a complete game against the Astros. This is obviously a much scarier team. I'm not worried about the conditions, especially they have to hit the ball first. And I love the low ownership. So I hope it does stay that low. I'm really high on him today. All right. What about stacks, man? What are you doing stacks-wise? I've got 4 on my list, and I'm having trouble differentiating which ones I want to go with the most. How about you?
Yeah, I'm having a hard time, too, because I'm only playing 2 lineups on each site tonight. On a 14-game slate, I picked the wrong night to go light, but it's tough. I'm liking KC. I think I'm going to go with KC. I still like my Dodgers. They're a little bit higher owned today, but I think they're still in a good spot. They're up on the stack projections for me today. Dodgers, you got coming in pretty good. You got KC. Tampa Bay still coming in good. They got a couple good plays. Nelson Cruz is eligible on a DK tonight now if you guys want to. They got some home run hitters. So, I mean, they're coming out of the top ceiling stack for me, but it's real close today. There's a lot of good teams up there.
Yeah, it's I personally, the one I talked to you a little bit earlier, we were going back and forth and chatting and stuff. The one team that I didn't talk about was Washington. I really like Washington here.
Okay, well, thank you, because I'm sitting here with Zimmer in my lineup. I'm sitting here with Turner in my lineup. Like, these guys are coming in one of the top value stacks on DK on the projections for me today. Yeah, I don't like it, but I'm getting used to it, so that makes me feel better that you got them too. So.
The thing that worries me about them is the high ownership and the fact that Lopez I think the bullpen is garbage, but Lopez in general doesn't tend to give up as much power, even though he doesn't tend to last very long either. So if I was doing it though, I don't know about the 5-man stacking just because of how popular. I mean, Trey Turner is going to be crazy popular. Soto is going to be crazy popular. Josh Bell is going to be really, really popular. Maybe I'll stay away from this one, or if you're going to do it on maybe I'll do it on FanDuel and play both Bell and Zimmerman to get a little bit different. You know what I mean? If you're going to do your stack, because most people are going to obviously choose Bell or choose between the two of them. But you can play Bell and Zimmerman in the same lineup. Try and get creative that way, because I do think they're going to be a little too chalky for this big a slate maybe.
Yeah, I'm only looking to pair them up with some lower owned stacks. Like KC's still a little bit lower owned, I think, or like a Dodger stack. But like it's going to be tough to get them in the Dodgers. You have to go with a cheaper stack.
Yeah.
Unless you go with cheaper pitching on FanDuel, like you said, a couple of those guys with maybe a Dodger stack on FanDuel, 4-2-2 or something like that.
Yeah,
possible.
Yeah, we got a couple questions in here. So what's up, Oswaldo? He's saying, are we full stack? I think that we're going to be on the same page with this most of the time. Rhodey's going to full stack. I'm going to mostly look to do 4-man stacks in big buy-in smaller field tournaments. But I actually am okay today with my 5-man Dodger stack, my 5-man KC stack, or even a 5-man Detroit stack. But I probably would lean with Detroit and KC, maybe go a little bit more of the 4-man. That's the way I would break it down. And Washington, you could play 1 through 6, so I don't mind that. Big Ticket's asking why Bellinger. He's 4 for his last 60. Why play him today? I'm not going to go on those kind of things. Like, it's funny because I believe in hot streaks, but because someone's cold, not playing them is not something I really take that seriously in baseball. It really isn't, unless I think there's something broken. Guys are going to go through struggles, and the fact that they keep moving him further down in the lineup. And by the way, all the projections on him, every day you get people saying 5 to 10% and all these things, but he's ended up like 1% owned on every slate for like the last 2 weeks, and maybe for good reason. But I like the Dodgers in general, so it's going to be hard for me to want to leave out the guy who is actually the best hitter they have in their lineup out of the lineup. The problem with the Dodgers stack today is you have no Muncy, you have no Betts, you have no Seager. Think about if any other team had just lost those are 3 legitimate like all-star, high-end all-stars. You know what I mean? And it feels kind of weird for everybody just to jump in and play them now. I don't know if they'll have as high ownership because they still haven't even released the lineup yet. That tends to keep it a little bit lower than people think. But I will go back to Beatty. I'm not gonna fall for the so and so is for like I understand that Bellinger is struggling right now. I just think it's a matter of time, and Chichi Gonzalez is the perfect get-right pitcher. This guy cannot strike people out. I don't mind, this game, if they were in Coors, they'd all be 30% owned the Dodgers, and I probably still would have some of them because Chichi Gonzalez basically sucks. That's it. But I agree with questioning the Bellinger. You can leave Bellinger out of a Dodger stack, but I would probably recommend making it a 4-man if you're going to do that. What are your thoughts on Bellinger, Rhodey, and how do you treat those guys who are struggling from the plate?
Well, the only reason I was kind of off Bellinger is because there's so many expensive guys on the Dodgers. Like, how are you getting these guys in a lineup with a 5-man when they're all 5K, 6K for Turner?
You've got Matt Beatty probably batting at the top of the order at 2.4. You've got you can use the wraparound with McKinney and McKinstry who are going to be the low-owned parts at 2.9, 3.9. And you could also play Patrick Corbin and just gamble the hell out of it, which I'm considering doing as a pitcher. So that's the way I guess I would describe it. I also have some other values that are legitimate enough to where I think that it's I think you can just fill in other pieces. And I don't mind Goslin at 2.2. I think the Angels are getting overlooked today. I don't love the lineup, but I think J Happ, when he's bad, he's really bad. You've got Zimmerman at 2.4, who you could use in a combo stack. You know what I mean? You've got Duran. I'm not going to go there, even though he's minimum cost, just because it's against Cole. But Gamel at 2.2. There's just enough other guys who I could fill in around them. That's the way I think you can get to it.
So do you like Betty better at first base or outfield position?
Always first base for me because I think the outfield is always stronger these days, unless
that's what
one. On FanDuel, to be honest, guys, I didn't even get a lineup in before everything. Oh, it looks like are they still not sold out? I actually can't refresh my FanDuel and DraftKings pages sometimes when we're streaming, so I really don't understand why that's happening today. But so I didn't put together much on FanDuel. What are you doing on FanDuel, Rhodey?
I haven't really worked it out yet too much. I probably go with probably some more Dodgers over there. I might get a little bit of Reds. They're pretty good value over there. They're our top value stack on FanDuel. So maybe mix them in with a higher dollar pitcher. Musgrove's coming in really chalky over there. He's only 7.9K on FanDuel. I don't mind getting up to Wheeler, though. I mean, he's 10.2K, but if I can get a decent value stack in there with a high upside stack, I like to pay up for my pitching. So,
yeah, I hear you. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I do think I would stick with the top pitchers over there, and I may try to build a lineup right as we get off. Actually, it looks like for them not to be sold out on that monster is pretty shocking for this late in the day.
There's a lot of overlay today. You would be lucky to get in anything you want, I think. I mean, there's
what's happening? Everybody just put all their money on golf or something?
Maybe. The 888 on DK is still 44 spots from filling, that was better than it was. It ramped up real quick there at the end.
Yeah, usually it does. Actually, I got those ones in. Got my 888 in and a couple 250s in there. And I, it's. I'm gonna have to.
120 spots open on the Monster still on FanDuel.
Yeah.
So 120 spots open.
Yeah. Yeah, there's plenty of entries to go. Thanks, WW Fresh, for filling us in there. Haven't seen you in here in a bit, buddy. By the way, anybody have any golf sweats going? I haven't even checked I don't have many 6 of 6s that I think are going to make it, but I've got a couple. How about you, Rody? How about anybody else out there?
Golf. I got one lineup in, and a couple of guys took that out, but I was just kind of dazzling with it. I'm not a PGA guy yet, so.
Yeah. All right. I mean, I messed up, but I didn't. I don't even think I can say I messed up. I was high on Kazire. He didn't come through. I've gone through the ups and downs with this guy. But I always say that I'm a height supremacist or something like that because I love this guy. But part of it is just that he's on long courses. It's just physically that he's bigger than everyone else in golf. Like it's such a dumb reason to like somebody. But he actually has been he's 3 top 10s in his last 6 tournaments or 7 tournaments, I believe. Baseball has been a little bit rough. I actually made money on DraftKings, lost money on FanDuel every day this week. That's been the case. And last week it was the exact opposite. But I did really well on FanDuel last week, and it's just strange. Drinking White Claw tonight. I'm not going to be drinking White Claw because I will be going to dinner, K9 Bronco, with my girlfriend and some of her friends, and then some of my other friends are going to meet us at this at a Latin bar actually. So that should be kind of fun. A lot of fun little bars here in LA. So I probably will be drinking something like. I don't know what we'll be drinking. I know we're going to sushi for dinner, so that sounds like sake and maybe beer. And maybe afterwards it'll be something like I don't know. It depends on what kind of bar it is. She's her favorite bar, but I haven't been there yet with her. And it's probably I'm a martini guy at bars. Sometimes I'll do a gin and tonic. I am a whiskey guy in general, but I've sort of I got kind of sick of it after a while. So that's where I'm at. How about you, Rody? What's your drink of choice? We tend to talk about.
I'm a whiskey guy or Long Island's. My wife loves sushi. She wanted tonight pretty bad, but she ended up not going. She ended up going to get it. She stopped cooking dinner, and she said, "Screw it, I'm going to get sushi." So she got sushi and told me I got to eat healthy tonight. So she brought me a salad from Panera. So that's
nice. Okay. But you don't. Wait. What did you say about the drink though?
Long Island and whiskey, Jack Daniels. I'm a big Jack Daniels guy. Jack and Mountain Dew actually. So guys, hit that up for one of your nights. That's a good drink. It works.
Yeah. Sorry, I got a guy who's by the way, I know there's been a couple of login issues at times with the site, and we're just fixing the kinks, but it was supposed to be working better. I'm just making sure that I got one guy trying to access sheets that is having trouble. So, but if anything happens, just DM me. I'll answer right away, even if we're on air. I want to make sure everybody has access to everything before lock here. So, sorry.
Are you getting any Detroit guys on FanDuel? I know they don't project as well over there, but
I think it's a great way to play them if you're going to. To be honest, I'm going to probably I would probably lean more Dodgers over there. Man, I really thought it was funny last night because it was one of those, nobody really did much on the slate, so you didn't need a ton of points to win. But I really thought I had some shots there after Will Smith hit that home run. I was like, okay, let's get it going, guys. I had Will Smith on all my my FanDuel, my DraftKings. I was like, I thought it was going to get going, but just couldn't get that Dodger stack to get going. Tito's 9 Bronco. Why don't you guys all drop Adam Perry? Chipotle is a lock. It's Chipotle for you after lock. All right. What else? Everybody else, let us know what you're doing, and then we're probably going to get out of here in a few minutes because I am obviously scrambling and trying to build my lineups as well as trying to help these guys out.
I love Chipotle. I don't mind. I like Qdoba, but Chipotle works too, guys. Pincheros or whatever the other one. Those are all good. That's what I wanted for dinner tonight too.
Yeah. All right, man. Talk a little bit more about. Is there any one? I know you mostly are doing double stack things, but is there anybody else who stood out to you as maybe like a one-off play, maybe a value play or anything like that we haven't gone over?
What would be your take on the Toronto guys? Like very low owned. Any Vlad coming in for you?
In general,
like one-off for first base.
You got a terrible hitters park coming from a great hitters park, going to the National League. I still think there's merit to it, though. Kind of interesting. They're going to get zero ownership. You have
zero ownership.
Yeah, I can get behind that. I think Vlad as a one-off is look, the guy's the best hitter in baseball. I don't care what anyone says. You can at me all you want. Exactly. He's the best hitter in baseball. And, the days of us arguing over, is it this guy, is that guy? I think Vlad is the best pure hitter. And he probably will continue to be one of the best few going forward, especially with Acuna out. I would say Vlad is definitely the best hitter in baseball. So I think that at 1%, I would have no problem playing Glad even at a worse stadium. And this guy, even though a little wind blowing in, it's not, it's 80 degrees in New York, so it's it's humid. The ball should carry. He doesn't need any of that stuff though. Like he doesn't benefit from them playing in that tiny little park in Buffalo because it's not like he's hitting you balls that just scrape the thing. He's hitting 100 feet past the wall. Like it's ridiculous that guy's swing. The Dodgers just released their lineup, so McKinney's batting second. So here's your answer. Beatty's down towards the bottom now. So you could play McKinney and Beatty in your stacks, and then you could go. You have two cheap Dodgers to go with the Turner, Smith, Bellinger, or Taylor. That's the way I would do it.
Yeah, I've been on Taylor heavy. I've been on Turner a little heavy. Turner is pricey though. Maybe I'll drop to Bellinger or something. I like playing Pollock a lot too, though, man. That guy he hit some dingers lately, man. I don't know. I'm always playing him. You like him today or no?
No, I mean I'm absolutely 100% on the Pollock train. I think he's this guy. Like the only thing I hate with him sometimes is that he looks like he can't move as much in the outfield anymore. This guy used to be one of the best fielders in baseball. And you don't get any stolen base upside like he used to have. But I agree. Pollock can hit the ball out. I think he's a really good way to go actually today. I should have included him in my little speech there. Guys, drop in any more last questions. And I'm really sorry. I apologize for the scrambling. I really want to, I take this site really seriously. And I really didn't expect to have a lollipop in my mouth as I was falling asleep and somehow break my tooth off. Like, that was the weirdest thing. And it just
so you really had you fell asleep with a lollipop in your mouth and it screwed up your whole tooth.
It knocked out my tooth. I think I should have put a picture up, didn't I?
You showed me. You sent me your teeth with a hole there, but you didn't. I didn't see the lollipop. Maybe wow. I might have missed it.
Yeah. You know what? The mini stack with San Francisco. I just can't get behind playing teams in that park on giant slates. That's just where I am, and I'll occasionally break it if it's a day game. I'll do it. The ball carries a little bit better, but it's so hard to play hitters in that park for me on big slates. How about you, Rudy?
I don't know. Yeah, I kind of agree with you there.
There's no such thing as wind in San Francisco, by the way. Don't ever look at the wind blowing out as a thing. It doesn't.
I'm a big projections guy, so it's all factored into that when I talk. And
yeah.
So when I give you guys these plays, I mean, it's already all factored in how I base all that on there. I don't ever look into that or anything.
Yeah, I love the I like taking advantage of people who think, like, the one thing, it's really important. They built the stadium in San Francisco. By the way, it's a stadium I've been to. It's oddly enough probably as many times as Dodger Stadium. But it's something that's really, like, they built it to shield it from the wind. So it's really not affected either way for the wind for the most part. What was interesting was when they didn't have fans and they were playing there last year, it did make a difference because they were accounting for the people who would block out. There's a gate in the outfield that actually the wind would carry it. The wind would be affected. So anyway, basically, long story short, if there's no fans, the wind actually did play an impact. In general, the wind plays no impact in general in San Francisco at all. Am I liking the mini stack of the Mets? I'm not into the Mets tonight, but I don't mind if you want to take a one-off of a guy like Alonso or something like that. But that's not for me personally. How about you?
Not going there either.
Yeah.
Man, this Dodger stack's tough to get into a 5-man. Struggling.
Yeah, it's all right. I mean, you maybe drop down, even if you drop down a little bit in pitching.
Yeah, I just don't know where I want to go. I don't know if I know you said Corbin. I mean, he's there at 6.9.
What about the 80 you played Musgrove with Montas?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do. I love Musgrove with Montas. That's just a little pricey.
Yeah.
I really gotta. I have enough for Cueto, but I don't know. He wasn't really on my radar at all. So I'm falling in that like 7K range, and I want to be in the 8K range. You know.
Yeah, it's yeah, I hear you. I think that is a drop down.
I mean, what do you think about like Miguel Cabrera instead of Scoop?
Yeah, so I actually did. I never play Miguel Cabrera anymore, and I love him.
I don't either.
My favorite guy, but I just kidding. Yeah, I actually do have a little bit of Cabrera, just in all honesty, today as a value.
Well, he's 2.7K batting cleanup, 7% owned. You know, he fits well. I mean,
Yeah.
hell, I can get good pitchers then. You know, I could do that Montas pitching with him. I always like that Scoop guy though, man. He has some good balls, guys, for the Detroit stack.
Scorpion really, he can hit. Like, he's actually a real, a hitter.
Yeah.
Like, let's see. Adam says he squeezed a Dodger stack too last night and also got excited after the Smith homer. Yeah, we just need them to get going. I mean, it is not the same lineup. So I'm high on the Dodgers tonight because I like the spot, but I want to make it clear that I don't think this is by any means like just an automatic smash spot. It is not the same lineup without Seager, Bellinger. Without Seager, Betts, and Muncy. It's really not. And Billy McKinney batting second is not like a lineup that, as much as I'm saying you can play him as part of your value in your stack, it's not like he's like the best hitter in the world. He's not a legitimate number 2 hitter for this Dodgers team. He's a guy who's a platoon player who should be batting 8th when he plays mostly. So you have to take some a little bit of some guys you don't want as much. Guys, we'll get out of here for any other questions. And again, apologies for any issues of my not, being able to update everything and maybe not being as dialed in on this show. But hopefully we're able to give you guys at least what we're doing today. It's just a little bit of a tough slate to be gone all day for because there's so many options. I didn't see your question, WW Fresh. When stacking the O's Nats, which outfielder are you leaving out? I don't know that you don't necessarily need to stack the whole outfield. I mean, I'm not leaving Soto out if I was playing Washington. I wouldn't. Parr is cheap, so and going to be low owned, but it's not the most exciting play in the world. You also have. I don't know which ones you're playing, man. So let me know which ones you're playing because I don't. You could play Mullins and Hayes, but I don't think you need to play those guys. I still think there's upside for Corbin here, and it's going to be it'll be in probably one of the smaller by and large field, but I will have one Patrick Corbin lineup tonight just because I like gambling on him. I think he's a very poor man's version. Well, he's not near what Robbie Ray's doing this year. He's fallen off, but you still look at it. I mean, he put up 24, he put up 29 a few starts back, and he's 6,900, and he's going to be 0% owned. And this Baltimore lineup is definitely hit or miss. The only problem is you do have the 8 righties against him, and obviously that's where he struggles. Mullins, Hayes, Mountcastle, or Mancini, only 3 spots left. I'm not playing Baltimore, so if I was going to play them, I would probably leave out. That's a good question. That's a really good question. I probably would leave out Mullins or Hayes maybe, but I don't know. I really would. I'm not playing them, so I didn't think about it. That's a really good question. I don't know which one. How about you? If you had to leave out one, if you were playing Baltimore and you wanted to use 3 of their outfielders, Mullins, Hayes, Mountcastle, or Mancini, who are you leaving out?
Mullins.
Okay. And then any Mats? No Mats.
I like Mancini today. He could be a one-off too.
Yeah,
he's projecting well.
No Mats for me, by the way, and you could always do the thing where the guy against his former team and his former catcher and all that stuff, and the Mets. But I'm not heavy on the Mats thing today, even though the price is right. He's probably more of a legitimately safe upside play than Corbin. Safe play, but Corbin has more overall upside, I would say. That's even though he's not the same guy. I believe in the long term, and we've seen Corbin struggle like this, and then he'll strike out 12 guys in a game. My home run calls tonight. Why don't you go, Rody? If you had to bet on 5 guys that hit home runs tonight, who would you be taking?
Oh, 5 guys. Let's go with Pollock for the Dodgers.
Let's go
with Vlad. I like him hitting a dinger tonight. Salvador Perez, Trey Turner, and Whit Merrifield.
I like it. You took a couple of guys I was going to say, but I will say I'll take number 1 for me would be Soto, but he's going to be so popular I probably won't play that much of him. Number 2 would be I love the Vlad call actually. I think that I can get behind that, but I probably would just go. I'll say Justin Turner, Will Smith. I'll take 2 Dodgers. I was going to say Salvador Perez, but I'll skip it. I'll go over to Jorge Soler. That's a cheap.
Got him in my build too. I like him.
Yeah, and then I would also go with, let's see, who do I have as my other? I'm going to go with Justin Upton, a guy we didn't talk about much, but I love him in this matchup against Hap. He stands out at and also 3.3K. He's going to have some ownership, but we got Upton who crushes lefties. You got a low strikeout lefty against Upton, which is his biggest weakness is strikeout. So I'll go Justin Upton with my last one. All right, guys, I think that's going to just about do it, so I can go actually build my lineups. Pedro Severino tonight. Look, you know what? I'm okay with Severino. I have no problem with him. I ended up paying up for catcher for both Perez and Will Smith tonight. That's what I ended up doing. But I don't mind Severino at all. All right, guys. Good luck to everybody out there. Thanks so much, Rody. And again, apologies for the scrambling. It's a little bit of a mad dash today. I literally got home the second I got on air, basically. So good luck to everybody, and we will hopefully have someone crush it. Let us know how you're doing in golf. If anybody's got a good sweat, we want to see it in the Discord. So we'll see you guys soon.
See you guys.
Sorry about that.